You know, the thing that's frightening is that most people have lived 21, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of their life. And they've never really given the best of themselves. They don't know what it feels like to put forth the effort over an extended period of time to get the most out of themselves. They know how to go through the motions. They know how to follow a task, because you have to do that at work, you have to do that at school. But they don't know how to go to a level and sustain that level. They don't know what it feels like to do this over a course of time and get outstanding results. I have a proposition for you. What I would ask you is to go all out. Give everything you have for 90 days. We choose 90 days because 90 days is the amount of time where you could have changed habits, but you can also, it's a reasonable amount of time for you to expect a real true change where you can actually optically, you can see it, because most people have to see things to believe it rather than believe it to see it. So we want to play into the mind of people, and we want you to go a period of time where you will see results. You could see results in 30 days. You could see results in 15 days. You could see results in 60 days. But 90 is a safe place that we can say you should see some results. So going all out, giving everything you have. The time is going to go by, as we always say. You know that the time will go by. But you've never been to that level where you gave everything, where you said, you know what, for this amount of time, I'm going to work on my body. I'm going to eat the best food for 90 days, the best that I can, within reason. I'm going to train the hardest. I'm going to be the best mother or father, best boyfriend or girlfriend, now, or wife or husband. It's challenging to do this. It takes a great amount of effort, which is why most people shrink when it comes to doing it, which is why most people would rather not do it. I remember being in the IBA, the International Basketball Association. It was cold up there. We had, it was in Mitchell, South Dakota. I never forget going on a plane up there. When you went on, we went on something that felt like a crop duster. At that time, it was an airline called TWA, and they had the cheaper flights. And so I believe I was leaving out of Chicago, going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux Falls. So it's over there, we're over there near Minnesota, we're over there, I believe near Iowa, we're over there just near a lot of places, but really cold over there. So en route to going, the plane was shaking, it was kind of raining, it was like, I thought it was over. A guy that I met on the way, he was also going to try out for the team. His name was, it was either Willis, no, it might have been Mike McGehee. I never forget that last name, Mike McGehee. And we looking at each other like, and you could see the fear in his eyes and you could feel the fear on me. But we made it through. We eventually got to Sioux Falls, and then we got transported to Mitchell, South Dakota, which is where we stayed. So we played in a place called the Corn Palace. We would have our games on Indian reservations, so-called Native Americans, let me say that. And that's where I learned about the Native American culture, a little bit more, as my great-grandfather was a Native American. But needless to say, we were there in South Dakota, and we had a coach by the name of Reggie, what was coach's last name? Reggie, he played at Georgetown with Patrick Ewing. He played in the NBA, Reggie Williams. He was from Baltimore, Maryland. I believe he went to Dunbar High School. And Reggie Williams was a tough coach. We started off 5-0. And even though we started off 5-0, Coach he was on our head every day. He was going hard each and every day. And it was almost like we never had won anything. One day, because a lot of the guys were bullshitting around and, you know, all the time, we would win, but we could have been better. And this was my rookie season. This was the first time. And that time, you were only going to get paid. We were only getting paid about maximum $250 a week. I would say probably like $212, you know. So you were really doing it for the love. At that time, the guy that was the coach for the Celtics, he played with the Fargo team. I believe it's Fargo from North Dakota. One of those teams. Ime Udoka. He ended up being the coach of the Boston Celtics. Damon Jones, he played a long time in the NBA. Ira Newble, who was from Detroit. I know Ira, he played in the NBA. The Birdman, Chris, I can't think his name, but he played with Miami Heat. Anderson, he played a long time in the NBA. Melvin Levitt, hey, just got drafted by the Pistons. So it was a lot of talent there, and they were on their way up to the major leagues. But what Coach said, it never, and this was back in 2000 and, was it 2001? 2000 or 2001. So we're talking about 23 years ago. I was just a baby coming out. He said, you guys are scared to give everything you have because you're afraid that somebody's going to depend on you to do that same thing each and every time. You're afraid, and it just came out of the blue. And I never thought about it, what he was saying, but when I sat and thought about it, I was shocked. I was like, here we are 5-0. Why is he saying this? But as a coach, you can see when somebody has more in them. You know when somebody is just given the bare minimum to do the job. So we were winning, but he said that, and then it stuck with me. And it was true that most guys on the team, and you can say this for most people in life, is that you don't want to go to that next level as a husband, as a wife, or as an employee because you're afraid that you're going to be called upon or expected. It's the expectation to do that each and every time. And it takes a lot of effort to sustain that level each and every day, each and every time. So rather than me be called upon, rather than me be expected to be great each and every day, what I'll do is I'll be okay, I'll be good, I'll get the job done, I'll conserve my energy, and we'll keep things status quo because I don't want to have to sustain my energy up here. I don't want to have to sustain my performance up here. So I'll just stay down here. I'll just relax. And this is what most of us do. And Coach was right. He was absolutely right. I didn't think about it at the time. I was like, that's interesting. Because we were winning. We were on top. And so this is the nature of people. This is the psychology of people. They do just enough. What is it? Just enough. What is it? Just enough not to get fired, but also enough, what is it, to stay hired, something like that. You have a next level. If you said to yourself, this is what I'm going to do for the next 90 days. I will consume the fruits that I know that are beneficial for me. I will cut all habits that I know are detrimental for me. I will get up at this time. I will train each and every day. I will cook for my wife each and every day, or I'll iron her clothes like my man Eric Thomas says. I will do these things each and every day. I will make life easier for those around me. And I will challenge myself. Do you know that at the end of 90 days, you would have no choice? I can guarantee you that you would see a difference in your life. But what you would have done, more importantly, because it's not about what you're going to get. It's not about the things that we can get. It's the people that we become in the process. So what will happen is during those 90 days, you're becoming a different person. So it's not like at the end of 90 days are here, all right, I'm out, check out. It doesn't work that way. You will have tricked yourself into becoming another person. And so now you maintain that level. And that level of person, because most people, let's say for the sake of the video, most people operate here, but you're operating here. A person that operates here has no choice but to attract the people, the thing, the places, the situations to a person that's up here, because most people are here. They won't give the effort. They may know how. So here's the thing. I'm not speaking to you. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. All these things, you inherently already know these things. You already know. But you still won't go there. Most people won't go. There has to be a dire situation for a person to want to make the change. And my thing is, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of remedy. You don't need to get yourself into a situation to have to try to fix something when you can just practice excellence so that you never have to get into the situation. So you don't have to worry about cures if you focus on prevention. You don't have to worry about, why would you worry about the diabetes juice if you eat a certain way and you never contract the diabetes? If you live a certain way and you never contract the high blood pressure. Now the blood pressure can be up because we know that the blood pressure, high blood pressure, just like high blood sugar, are symptoms. They're not necessarily diseases. A metabolic disease, a type 2 diabetes, is a metabolic situation. Yes. Insulin not functioning properly. High blood pressure can come from stress. It can come from many different things, but at the end of the day, all of this can be eradicated. So being at this level, you cut out or you lessen your chances of certain things happening to you. Now, here's the thing. You're going to do the work either on the front end or the back end. The problem is, or you're going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. The problem is, to pay on the back end, you're paying interest. You're paying interest, and you're paying a lot. It's a lot that you're going to have to pay. Whereas if you pay up front, you pay a solid price, you still pay, but here you're paying triple on the back end. So it may seem like a lot, like, oh, why do I have to not drink? Think about this. We have to argue with people. We have to argue for you not to drink. For you not to get yourself inebriated has to be an argument. For you not to get yourself high has to be an argument. That I have to have a person to come against me to say, put that away. I'm saying put that away for 30 days. Put that away for 60 days. Put that away for 90 days. Put that away for 6 months. It's ruining your life. I have to have people come after me. Because it's the addiction that's talking. It's not the person, it's the addiction. But an addicted person will try to justify wrongdoing. I won't even use the word wrong because right or wrong is subjective. But they will justify deleterious habits. Those things they will justify because their mind is committed to making that thing be right. And so I'm stating, make the right thing be right. Right being short for righteous, meaning the best thing for you. And the best thing for you in this dimension, as I understand it, the best thing for you would be to make the most of yourself, to give yourself 90 days, to do something that you haven't done, to push yourself. When you stretch is when the muscle can fire better. You can jump higher when you stretch. If you're not stretched, you can't jump higher. You can't move quick if you're not stretched. You're not flexible. Flexibility in life, just like in sports, is the same thing. Lack of flexibility causes injury. So you want to be flexible. You want to be able to go to that level. It's like a person that stretches every day. This is the easy way I can explain it. A person that stretches, a person that does yoga, that weight trains and all that, that person can recruit more fast twitch muscles and probably jump higher within reason, because some people are genetically gifted. But if you're young and we're both, let's say we're both the same, reasonably we have the same genetics, give or take, the same ability within our muscles. A person that's stretched is going to do a lot more than a person that's not stretched, because that person is already gone to these levels, the high levels, so they can go back to the high levels. But a person that doesn't stretch, you can't go there. You're going to hurt yourself trying to go there at once because you've never been there. So you need the training. You need the trainer. It's the training that we always need. So you train yourself by giving yourself a sustained effort over time. You go all out for 90 days. Your life will change in more ways than one. But the danger is the cruise control. That's the danger. That's where you're actually, when you play it safe, you're being dangerous. Or when you take a risk, you're playing it safe, calculated risk. But when you're not taking risks, when you're playing it safe, you're taking a risk. So you're taking risks by playing it safe. When you do nothing, you risk everything. So an object in motion stays in motion. So if you're constantly working, you're constantly reading every day, you say, you know what, I'm going to read every day for 90 days. If it's 2 pages, it's 2 pages. If you read 2 pages a day, minimal effort. I'm going to give you the J. Paul Getting Act. What J. Paul Getting would say is, one of the first, I believe, world millionaires or billionaires, he would say, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort any day. So minimal effort, 2 pages a day for 90 days. That's 180 pages. 180 pages over 90 days. Most books are probably that. So every 90 days, you can read 1 book. Now, if you stretched to the limit and you took a whopping 10 minutes a day, you said, you know what, I'm going to push to the limit. I'm going to go 10 minutes a day. And let's just say you went 5 pages, depending upon how fast you read. But let's say I took 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. And I read 5 pages. 5 pages per day over 3 months, 90 days. I believe that's what, 450? 9 times 5? What was that, 9 times 6 is 45? Yeah, 450, give or take. That's a lot. 450 pages, that's like 2 or 3 books in 3 months. If you just read 5 pages a day. See, the problem is that we're thinking of things in terms of these leaps and bounds. And you don't think in terms of the Kaizen principle, which is what the Japanese operate with. The Kaizen principle is we're going to do things little by little, step by step, not by leaps and bounds. And by steps and steps, step by step, we're going to arrive at the destination. It's like in football, what do we say? We don't go Hail Marys from the first down, Hail Mary. We're trying to get the first down. And by getting the first down, if you keep getting first downs, you will end up in the end zone. You will get a touchdown by getting first downs continually over and over. So if you take the small things that you can do and you do it, that's cool. If you can do 10 push-ups a day, every day, 10 push-ups a day, 7 days a week, it's 280 push-ups a month. So you multiply that by 3. That's almost 900, over 800 push-ups a month. All you're doing is 10. If you did 10 squats a day. And what you're going to find is over time, this is the best part. This is why You need the consistency. You need the consistency. So this is why doing it each and every day is going to be good for you, because what you're going to find is that you're going to need more reps. You're going to say, all right, I'm beyond 10 reps. I'm beyond 5 pages per day. The book is getting good. Let me go 10 pages. Okay, I got time today. The book is getting great. Let me go 15 pages. I've got some downtime. So you are creating new habits. The best part is you're creating the habit of going to the next level and sustaining at the next level, staying at the next level. So that's the best part about it. So there are all of these ancillary benefits that you're not thinking about, but that are going to happen. It's like when you take a medicine, a so-called medicine, pharmaceutical drug. This is what getting your life together is like. When you take a pharmaceutical drug, there are direct effects and there are side effects. When you change your life, when you dedicate yourself to the highest level and you say, I'm going to do this for 90 days, there are direct effects that you will see, and there are side effects, ancillary effects that will happen as a result of you committing yourself. Great things that will happen to you that you didn't anticipate, because life is holistic. This is the point that I want to get you to understand. Most people are living a holistic life with a Holistic, holistic, where they're leaving holes in their life, gaps and holes, rather than holistic with a WH, meaning complete life. We want you to live a complete life. WHOLISTIC, holistic with a whole, complete. Not holistic with a HOLISTIC. Holistic, where you got holes and gaps and pits in your life. And so it's easy to sink and fall. You're not going to be successful. Commit yourself. What's 90 days? We go through this all the time. What's 6 months? What's a year of your life? 90 days, if the average age is about what, 70, 77, 75, at least in the continental United States, the average lifespan is 75, 77. What's 6 months? What's 3 months? So we're only asking for 90 days. But what I'm confident of is that you will see such a change, you will get compliments, your life will show results that you will want to continue. You will want to continue on this path. Yes, it's going to be work. But what will happen is your life, you will have to be more disciplined to be able to do it. To be able to complete it, you're going to have to be disciplined. You won't be able to live how you've been living and go to the next level. That's the beauty of it. So there's another person inside of you that's waiting to get out. There's another person, there's another you. Well, no, it's a you that's been buried, the real you. I'm going to be the best brother I can be. I'm going to be the best. When you go to work, most people go to work, they just go to work for the check. I'm not hating on people. I understand that, you know, some people are doing things that they don't like. But if you're going to commit to going to work, then work. And by committing to the work, now you're going to get higher, because to show yourself, to get a change of environment, you have to show yourself above the environment. So that means you have to dominate at work to get more work. More work is going to mean more money, typically. So by you doing and giving the best of yourself, you can expect a change for the better, because you gave the best. And by giving the best, you put yourself on another frequency. You put yourself on another paradigm. And so you have no choice but to receive that which is in alignment with your effort. This is why you have to sustain it over time. You can't do 1 or 2 days and then say, what happened? 90 days is fair. 90 days, the body can change. This is why we always say, hey, juice for 90 days or whatever it is. Go fruit for 90 days. Eat this way for 90 days. Rest for 90 days. Get your sun for 90 days. Train for 90 days. Do this with your partner for 90 days. Because you're giving yourself a chance to create a vibration, to create a frequency. You need to create friction within the universe. And by being consistent, you're creating a frequency. You're creating electricity. You're creating magnetism to pull to you the things that are rightfully yours, that were yours from birth. Things that were yours when you were born. You just needed to come in alignment with it. But when you veer off, when you go with the crowd, when you go with the programming, you're only going to get what that programming has got for you. When you go with the crowd, you're only going to get what the crowd has gotten, what the crowd has got for you. You're not going to get what the Creator has for you, because you left the path that the Creator made for you. The one that created you, when we say Creator, the one that created you, the one that created the stars, the mountains, all of that. When you go away from nature, that's what happens. Going away from nature means that you're going to get an unnatural result. Going away from nature means that you're on an unnatural path. So things that happen outside of nature are going to happen to you, like disease, which is unnatural. Unnatural thing. Being overweight is unnatural. You can only do that by living a life that's unnatural. Not getting the things that you know in your heart you desire and you have the ability for is unnatural. So because it's unnatural, it's going to cause stress within you. It's going to cause resistance. You're not going to like it. The evidence is you don't like the outcome, the things that you're getting. That's how you know you're not on the right path in life. Some things are going to happen that are part of life that are meant to build us. So you can't be afraid of that. You can't be afraid of that which is going to build you, to make you stronger. Because in order to build, you need to tear down. When you go into lifting weights, you need to, what did Arlene say in the video? You need to tear down in order to build. So you have to tear muscle fibers. So metaphorically speaking, you're going to have to tear muscle fibers in your life in order to get stronger in that aspect. This is why we're going 90 days. You need that training. You need that strength. You need to be tested. You need resistance. Resistance is what creates strength. If I'm used to pushing all the time, at some point, that what I'm pushing is going to get easier to push. And so I will need more resistance. And eventually, I will get to a point where I've surpassed all of these resistances that most people cannot even imagine, that couldn't even bear. But I'm used to it. I've been training. I started with 90 days. Now I'm used to it. It becomes a way of life. That's what we want. So you start with 90 so it can become a way of life. We want things to become a way of life. We don't want you to have to think, oh, diet, I got to eat this or I got to do that. We don't like that. We don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I want it to be a way of life where you don't have to think about it. Where it's just, hey, this is how I'm living. These are the things that I'm doing. No thought. Now people looking at you from the outside, they marvel. But for you, it's just a way of life. And they too can have that. But you got to start somewhere. This is what the 90 days is for. 90 days of giving the best of yourself in everything that you can. Not to overwhelm you, but just to give the best of yourself. Usually that is overwhelming to people because they're used to giving the worst of themselves, or the least, not the worst, the least. Some people the worst, but the least, not putting in effort. This is why your energy, being careful about who, everybody can't have access to you. This is a part of the equation. Everybody can't have access to your energy, to your resources, to your body. That's draining. A lot of your problem is that it's draining. You're giving people, the wrong people, access. Time is a resource, and it's a limited resource for the sake of the conversation, even though time is not real. It's a limited resource for the sake of the organizational things that we have to do on earth. Your body is a resource. You can't give your body to everybody. They can't have access to you. If everybody can have access to you, how valuable are you? That which has value also needs to be protected. Because you're putting yourself at a risk of being misused. This is why people that have valuable things try to, or usually allow people that understand the value of the thing that they have, they allow them to use it. But things of value, if they fall in the hands of those that are not trained or don't know how to use it, it's going to be a catastrophe. So that's also a part of the program, being careful with your resources. Time and energy being number 1 and 2. Your body being number 3. So now you keep your time, you keep your energy, you put the time into yourself, you put the energy into yourself. By default, the body is going to improve, the life is going to improve, because everything emanates from the inside out, not from the outside in. See, before you've been focused on the outside coming in rather than the inside going out. For 90 days, I'm going to put into myself. I'm going to invest in myself so that I can be the best that I can be. I'm going to be the best when I go to practice. I'm going to give the best effort I can in practice. I'm going to give the best effort I can on my job. I'm going to give the best effort I can in the gym. I'm going to give the best effort I can reading. I'm going to give the best effort I can praying. I'm going to give the best effort I can organizing. It sounds like a lot until you reach the point where it's second nature to you. Give me 90 days. Everything you got. The time will go by anyway. If you're here, it's going by anywhere, whether you're something or you're nothing. I don't mean to call people nothing, because nobody is nothing. But what I'm saying, when I say nothing, meaning that you didn't do what you really could have done. Alignment. In order to become in alignment, to get in alignment, it takes work, because the work involved is the taking the programs off the computer. When the computer gets infected with a virus, the work is trying to find somebody, trying to get all this stuff off the computer. So maybe sometimes things have to get erased off the computer. That's the work. And most people are infected computers. They're pretty much, they have viruses, because they're running on programs that they themselves would not have chosen for themselves from birth. And that's okay, because we're relying on our families, to our parents, and all this. They did the best they could with what they could, but now it's time for you to kick in. Now it's time for you to say, this program served me, this program didn't serve me. Okay, I'll keep that, but this has got to go. Most people were not trained to do the absolute most that they could all the time. Most people are trained to coast through life, just to get by. If somebody ain't looking, you are what you do when others are not looking. You are what you do when others are not looking. But guess what? You're praised in public for what you do in private. Make the most of yourself in private. People will see.